What's up, YouTube fans? We're back for another Saturday Night Live discussion. I decided to take a look at some of the masterpiece and third-party figures that we've had over, in the last couple of years, and see how they've held up. I've had my own issues and breakages, and I'm sure everybody's mileage will vary in terms of, what breaks and what stays intact or what kind of holds up. But I wanted to kind of go over some of the stuff that I've had and sort of what's happened with my stuff. Thanks for joining me tonight. I know there was a few people that said they couldn't make it, so they're going to watch it afterwards. That's cool. But I'm going to go over some of the stuff that I've had that has had issues in the past. So I'm actually going to show you some images of some of the breakages I've had, and you can see how they look. So I'll start off with this one. So this is my, actually I'll show you the figure up close. It's not Fans Toys. This is the X-Transbots. What's his name? Can't remember. The drag strip. I actually can't remember his name right now. Anyway, Overheat. So this guy, I had so many issues with him, and I fixed him. Obviously, he looks fine now, but there are a lot of problems with this guy, and I'll just show you this image now. So this this arm, the way they designed the wheel is supposed to push through and kind of make its way past, and the tolerance was just too tight. So mine, it actually cracked right here. You can see the crack. That wasn't due to user error or anything like that. I'm going to ask you guys too, by the way, as we go. I'm going to ask for your input on, what figures did you have issues with, or did you have breakages with? Of course, everyone's mileage will vary, but I'm just telling you my experience. So that was the first thing that broke on this figure, and I did try to fix it. They sent me the part, and unfortunately, it's pinned, so I had to take all the pins out. It was a lot of work, but I got it fixed. And they sent this was from Baba Bobo. So Baba sent me a replacement arm, and I put the replacement arm on, and then that one broke. So this arm that you see that's on there right now, it's attached with a screw. It's not actually, the peg broke again. So something with the design here is off. There's a few other things with this figure. So on the back, there's these little, I guess these little ridges that are meant for the vehicle mode, and they're just very fragile. So I actually intentionally just took them off because they started to break. So that's one of my figures. I don't know if you guys have had any issues with him, but that's one of the figures I've had, a lot of issues with. Another one, and so we'll go on to the next image here, is Fans Toys Blur. So, and this is not an uncommon break. So if you try to get him to vehicle mode, now if you don't transform him, he's fine. He's not going to break. He's pretty rigid and solid and sturdy. But if you try to transform this part right here, it's very hard to get it to tab in. And this part broke. Of course, Fans Toys service is pretty darn good. They sent me a new part. They actually sent me both. They sent me the left leg and the right leg. And I was able to replace that and fix it, no problem. And now I haven't transformed it again since then. But really good figure, just a design flaw with that piece. The best way to move pins, I gotta get some tools to show you. It's the only way to show you. So the best way to remove pins, there's a couple different ways. You need one of these. This is a pin push. So as you push down on this right here into the pin, it has a spring inside, and the spring kind of loads. And then when you get to the bottom, it releases. But of course, this is dangerous with toys that are painted because you can scratch the paint. Very hard to use it. Another one is a kit like this you can get from Amazon. It just comes with a hammer and some little pins. And so you use these pins, you basically knock them with this hammer into the pin of the toy, and you slowly knock it out. That's another way to do it. There's other little tools that you have, little things like this. But Amazon is a good place to get that stuff. So let's see. Another one that I've had an issue with. So that was Jabber from Fans Toys. And this was a common issue, actually. All three of us, Pig for Life, I believe T-Man and myself, or at least myself and Pig both broke this. I can't remember if T-Man broke his. All right, this is another one. This was a weird break. So this is X-Transbots Savant, their version of Skids. And the door just popped off. And I thought it had just popped off the hinge, but it actually cracked and broke. Luckily, X-Transbots sent me a replacement. So here's the new door. They gave me a whole new assembly, so I just attached that back on. It looks great. It's a really nice figure. I like the way this feels. But that's another breakage I've had. And again, I'm just going over my experiences and my breakages. You might have totally different breakages in your experience. Our next one is the Zeta Toys hands. So these are the hands for Bruticus. Now, I've been messing with these because I combine them with my, hopefully you can see that all the way in the corner, my Frankenstein Bruticus. And maybe that was part of the reason those broke, but those broke on me. And I actually asked Baba Bobo if he can give me new ones. So I fixed it myself. I took it apart and basically put a screw in there. They don't rotate properly anymore. I've had that. I'll give you the last one here, which I don't have pictures of, but this is the Takara Tomy Hound. I'll get your comments in just a second. I want to hear from you guys what has broken or what issues you've had. But this is a Fans Toys, or sorry, the Takara Tomy Hound. When I first got him, I transformed him. I did the review. No problems. I didn't have any issues. Then he sat on the shelf, and within a few months, I started getting cracks. And that's when I knew the materials on this are an issue. So I try not to transform this if I don't have to. I leave it in this vehicle mode, which is really beautiful. But the materials on this are just poor, and they tend to stress and crack. So you just need to be careful with this. But that's another one. I traded that one in, and I got a new one. I had to sell that one and buy this one again. Another one that it hasn't broken on me, but another one that I've had issues with is this. This is the Transform Element Mirage, and the knees on this were really loose. Now I fixed it, and I'll tell you how I did it. You guys could maybe do it differently, but there are screws right here. You can pull this panel off, and it is really tight, and you'll actually probably end up scraping some of the plastic. But if you take that off, you can get some floor polish in there, and then you can get him to hold his legs a little better. He's still a little loose. You can see that his knees bend, but overall, he's a little better than he was. That's the kind of stuff that over time, things just break. So I want to hear from you guys. What kind of things, issues have you had? I think I have one more. Oh, I have one more image. Sorry, one more to share. So this is the Fans Toy Cyclonus. Now, this was my fault. I transformed it incorrectly. I sheared this pin right off. Again, Fans Toys sent me the parts pretty quickly, and I was able to replace it and fix it. So that was my fault. But so now I want to hear from you guys. What kind of issues have you had? What figures have you had that have had issues, or companies have you had? I'll tell you, for me personally, the third-party company that I've had the most issues with X-Transbots. I had the most breakages with them, but that doesn't mean Fans Toys doesn't break. I've had a couple of breaks with Fans Toys too. All right, so let me get into your comments. So Trash says, I had one of Goose's guns get stuck in his wing, and the peg snapped off. Oh, I remember you showed me a picture of that. Got it out and waiting for a replacement gun. Yeah, that sucks, because how do you get that pin out? You got to drill it out. Clinical says, worst thing I have is MMC's hoist. I haven't had any issues. Oh, maybe you're talking about the original hoist. My new version is okay so far, but there are some delicate pieces on that. Dr. Diecast, what's the best way to remove pins? I showed that earlier. You can go back and watch. I showed the tools that I use for that. Clinical, I'm scared to transform my Jabber. Yeah, me too. I haven't transformed this since I fixed it because I don't want to have to get another part. But it really is beautiful. It's a beautiful robot. Damon says, transform my Jabber a few times. Was extremely careful. Yeah, you do have to be careful, especially with that panel. Let's see. What else have you guys broken? Jabber broke a spudger. Clinical. I've never broken a spudger, but I can see that happening. It's a very tight figure. All the parts are tight. Lucky Hand says, I had a foot break off on MP10. Oh, that sucks. MP10? I've never had an issue with MP10. My MP10 is pretty solid, but I'd be interested to see how that broke. And a wing on my first run Starscream. My first run Starscream also had issues, but I sold it a long time ago. Let's see. Shindarius says, I still need to loosen the screw on Sheridan's leg to prevent it from snapping. Luckily, Fans Toys service is really good. They send out those screws. It sucks that they made that design issue, but at least they gave it to you. 3 live stream. Hey, what's up? Thanks for joining. I like your name there. Damon Croy says, I broke my Zeta Cosmos, replaced with MMC and broke a small part on that. Not meant to have a Cosmos. That sucks. My X-Transbots combos is really good. So you had a Zeta and MMC. I recommend the X-Transbots Cosmos. They're really good. It's right here. That's a really good figure. Highly recommended. No breakages on it. Clinical says, I broke TE Mirage. The little C-shaped things in his abdomen. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got some delicate parts there. David says, at first run MPs did that. My stepson broke the wing on MP3. Poor kid was terrified when he told me. I don't give my daughter these toys. She's not old enough yet to handle them, but Maddie the dentist says, I broke the elbow, snapped off MMC Azalea. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, if you snap the plastic, it's very hard to fix. The seat inside Elegos. I also broke the seat inside X-Transbots Elegos. That's why I was saying X-Transbots is the one I've had the most issues with. That was just a design issue. They designed that in a weird way. All right, I think I'm catching up here. I don't know how far behind I am. Daniel says, hello, TF Reviews. The only issues I had was by mail. Fans Toys Jabber came with a broken chest plate and the Takara MP Dirge without a thumb. When are you going to sell those polo shirts? I guess I should make these. I should make these with my logo on them. Sell them. I don't have any merch. So I try not to make any money off this channel other than the normal YouTube advertising. So I don't sell any merch. I don't have a Patreon. I don't do any of that stuff. This channel will always be free. Always be free. Steve says, no breaks for me. Leave everything in bot mode. Well, see, I have to transform things because I review them, right? So I got to transform stuff. Unfortunately, sometimes that means that they're going to break. Clinical says, figures should have video instructions from the designers. That would be nice. Some of them do. So 598 Robots, he's the designer for X-Transbots. He used to do them, and then he stopped. I'm not sure why. Recklaw says, hey, what's up, Recklaw? One that made me angriest was FT Sheridan's leg. Screw came out, knee and leg are not together. Angry because I tried replacing the screw, but screw wasn't quite right. Now I have a thread issue. That sucks. I got lucky with my Sheridan. I don't have a knee issue. I got the screw is sent to me anyways, but it just sucks that that you can't fix it because it's unthreaded. Hey, Jason, what's up? Thanks for joining us, Jay. Let's see. Aqua Mosquito says, my cat knocked over my Jabber, snapping the mushroom peg that allows the thigh swivel. First major breakage. Yeah, so, I mean, that's not a toy issue. That was, bad circumstances. But Jabber is, one of those figures that when you transform this guy, you got to be really careful, especially with these side panels. Those are somewhat hard to keep. Damon says, I'd buy your merch. Okay. All right. Maybe I will look into seeing if I can make these polos. I'll at least check into it and see what it would take. Lucky Hands. Actually, my Thomas came broken too. Oh, no. The pin that holds the thrusters was out. So I've been really lucky with Fans Toys. I hear a lot of stories from others because, as I post videos, people leave comments. I have never had a Fans Toys com broken. All of my Fans Toys have been good. The only one that's really been broken was this one. That's due to transformation. I transformed it 3 or 4 times. But I've been really lucky. Let's see. Ziggle says, I broke the lower arm of an X-Transbots boost while transforming the hand. Yeah, that sucks. Boost. Which one was boost? Can't even remember. Their mini-bot. Their mini-bot. MP11 Starscream, a couple of breakages. Yeah, MP11 Starscream. So the whole MP11 mold had very fragile pieces. If you put it in any way that it fell down and hit those wings, good luck. You were going to break those tail fins off or the wings off. Jay says, I buy multiples, only transform one and leave the other alone. Once transformed, I don't flip them again. So I like to transform. I'm a little weird because most people buy action figures to pose them. I don't really, I mean, I do pose them on my shelf, but I don't buy them for pose them. I buy them to transform them. I'll take one off the shelf almost every night, maybe every other night, and transform it and play with it and then put it back. And, you know, I'll be watching TV with the wife or something like that. And I just do that. I do that almost every day. So I transform. That's the fun for me. I don't necessarily leave them on the shelf, but when I find a figure like this, obviously I don't transform it after it breaks. Thanks, Jay. Memo says, all of the pins were out of XTB Motormaster's fingers. Oh, man. On his right hand when it arrived. It took 3 hours of a pair of tweezers to figure that out. My X-Transbots Motormaster, the pin did fall out, but I was able to put it back in. There's a little trick. You can actually take a paper clip that's a slightly wider gauge than the pin that came out, and then put that back in, and it'll hold better because it's a little bit wider. That's a trick I learned to replace those pins. Yeah, boost was wind charger. Yep, thank you. And a question, is Fanstoys reissuing Springer? Yes, Fanstoys is reissuing Springer. I have one on the way. I want to see if they've made any changes. My original version, I don't have any issues with it, but on the cup, they did make some changes. They made some running design changes, and I'm curious to see did they fix those, make any clearances or tolerances different. But I will be getting that, and I'll take a look to see if there's any differences with the reissue. Yeah, unfortunately, that Springer is sold out everywhere. So you're either going to have to wait for someone to sell, or you're going to have to get on the secondary market, which is going to be more expensive. See, Damon says, gotta love transforming a figure and find a random pin in your lap afterwards. Yeah, that's always a nightmare. Where does it go? You have to find it. That always sucks. Micro says, FT Scoria's hips can't support the leg weight, have a broken hip. Part of Gigapower's Grassor's tail held by a thin, fragile piece of plastic. I remember that. I did a review on that, which I discovered upon snapping half of his tail off. Oh, that sucks. I was very careful because I knew about that because people had already broken it. So I was very careful when I transformed Grassor. But Scoria, I actually broke a finger. A finger broke off. And once again, Fanstoys sent me a whole hand pretty quickly, and I replaced it. I have no problem. But yeah, FT Scoria had some. It was an older figure, but it had some issues. Brian G say, "What's up? What's up, Brian? Loving the way X-Transbots Virtus is looking. What do you think?" Let me bring up some images while we're talking. But I don't know. I have mixed feelings on that X-Transbots Virtus. I mean, on the one hand, I like the sculpt. I like the look of it. But the color scheme is a little weird to me. I just saw some images. Let me find those. But yeah, there's some other, but the color scheme, it looks a little too green. But I'm getting it anyway. I have it on the way, so we'll take a look at the X-Transbots. Of course, we got to do a comparison with the Fanstoys Apache. So you'll definitely get to see that on my channel. Memo says they were all in the box. It was like they were never installed. That's pretty bad, Memo. That's just poor quality. They should at least have put them in. It's possible maybe the temperature changes caused them to fall out because of the, it got cold and then it got warm again. Who knows? Brian GC, hey, what's up, TM? Loving the way the X-Trans. Oh, I already answered this question. Sorry. Did anyone know, is FT reissuing the Dinobots? I asked Dalian JJ or JJ, he goes by on TFW, and he said not anytime soon. He said not this year, maybe next year. So we'll see. Now, if another company starts issuing Dinobots, guess what? FT is going to reissue their Dinobots. That's my guess. Let's see. Daniel says, my plans with all the combiners will be displayed in combined mode only next with Fans Toys Terminus Gigantus to avoid further breaks. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. So once I get Fans Toys into combined mode, it's gonna stay like that. I'm not gonna uncombine them. And that's why I have multiples like Jay Stabler. You gotta have multiples for that. Let's see. Dave Turcos, $500 for a Springer. I'll take the reissue. So who wants a Road King? They reissued Road King already, by the way. All right, let's see. Dr. Diecast says, I just broke FT Grenadier, middle insect leg. Oh no, Grenadier is really hard to come by. That's going to be hard to replace. FT is sending pieces. Looks like I need to remove the pin. Just ordered kit on Amazon. Yeah. So yeah, definitely get a pin push kit or a kit I showed you. And you can get that out. Just got to be careful. You got to do it slowly. Make sure you're hammering it on a soft surface so you don't damage the part. Jay says, my Andros came with poorly painted wings about a month and a half ago. I just got the new set of wings yesterday and installed them. So, Jay, I'm curious. I'm really curious what it looked like because my Andros doesn't seem to have any issues. He's right up here. And I don't have any paint issues, so I'm really curious what it looked like. Send me a picture of that if you can. So, Aquas, how do you feel about X-Transbots raising the price of Virtus, calling it a premium version when it's just a normal version? I really don't like that. So I'll tell you why I'm not a big fan. Actually, let me find that damn picture so we can look at it together. So I pre-ordered Virtus 1.5 years ago. So I pre-ordered from Baba Bobo. Is $140 or $130 shipped. There is no way that Baba Bobo is going to send that to me for $140. He's going to definitely have to charge me at least $60. So I'm kind of upset about that, Aqua, because not only will I have to pay that difference in price, I'm going to have to pay the shipping because now the shipping on that guy is going to be more because he comes with a whole bunch of stuff. And I know that's going to be at least $20 or $30 more. So now I'm in for an extra $100, which is crazy. All right, let's take a look at these images of the Virtus, since you guys brought it up. All right, so here's Virtus, and let's see. So he looks good. I like the look of him. I like the accessories. I think the vehicle mode looks really nice. Let me take this off the screen. And I like the cockpit, but what I don't like, and that looks really cool too. He comes with a flight stand. He comes with what looks like an effect part for the helicopter blade. So it looks like it's spinning, which is kind of cool. And the vehicle mode looks good. But here's where I have an issue. I don't know if it's the lighting. I don't know if it's the actual paint or the coloring, but it looks too green. The whole robot looks like the Green Giant. And it's just, maybe the yellow is too green. Maybe that's what it is. Because the yellow on the Fans Toys is definitely not that green. So I don't know. There's something about it in robot mode is a little off, but I think it's the pictures. So we'll see. I do think it looks good, but we'll definitely do a comparison. I do like these little minifigures. This blue guy apparently is their Just Human. I don't know if you ever watched the episode Just Human. Let me go back. This is Ultra Magnus. So that they revealed that you're only going to get this green Springer guy. So that means that X-Transbots is making an Ultra Magnus figure, which is pretty cool. Right, we haven't gotten a third-party Ultra Magnus other than KFC, which I didn't like at all. So that's pretty exciting. So to answer your question, I am interested. I do want to get it. I do want to compare it. Just the colors are a little bit weird for me. All right, let me catch up here. I know I've fallen behind. FT has replacement parts for their bugs, but still haven't reissued them. Yeah, they haven't reissued the bugs. I asked about the bugs too because I don't have them. I want them, and Dalian JJ said they're not reissuing that anytime soon. The only way I could see them doing it is again if another company decided to take on Insecticons, they would probably reissue it. How do you send me pics? Okay, so if you want to send me pics, actually, now is a good time to talk about this. So I'm doing a new series. I'm doing collection reviews. So if you are interested in having your collection shown off on my channel, and I'm not doing what Bobby did. I'm not going to critique it. I'm not going to put you down. I just want to show off your collection. So if you're interested in shooting a video, and it should be less than 10 minutes, somewhere between 2 to 10 minutes, no longer than that, of your collection and the figures you have. You can send it to me on my Facebook page. So that's how you send me pictures. That's how you send me videos. That's how you send me private messages. Go to my Facebook page. It's linked in the description of most of my videos. I don't think this one has it yet. I'll go back and do it. But that's how you send me stuff. Go to my Facebook page and send me a message, and then you can send me a video or a picture or whatever you need to send me. But if you are interested in that, let me know by sending me a private message or a direct message on Facebook. See, Jay says, my swarm team was fine. All their wings look great, so I dodged a bullet. Yeah, you don't have to replace all those wings. So I'm not sure what the premium difference is because I asked, and there's no standard version available. I asked Toy Dojo about that. They said the only version that you can buy right now is the premium version. There is no alternate that's been listed or that's been even solicited for. So I don't know. Maybe they're just only selling the one premium for $200. I don't know. It just seems it's shady to me, right? They changed what they were offering. See, Ziggle, I bought Virtus for the human Springer figure because I don't have one in my collection. I don't have any either, so I'll be interested to see what they look like. Oh, I guess I must be behind here. Yes, the human is Ultra Magnus, and I guess that's their way of revealing that they're going to do Ultra Magnus. Believe X-Transbots is working. Yeah. All right, let me answer that question. They're just statues. I don't think they pose. That their arms don't move, the legs don't move. They're just little mini statues, kind of like the statues we get with the Takara Tomy figures, right? We get those little figurines. I think they're just figurines. All right, what else? What have you guys broken? I'm going to go for another couple minutes, and then we're probably going to call it for today. I will go over one other thing that I broke. So hold on one second. I'm going to grab her. And this is the Fans Toys Rouge. So Rouge is kind of a disaster to transform. But recently, as I was doing a comparison, I broke off a tab right in here. And that kind of goes to show this really wasn't meant to be transformed over and over and over. So I would recommend just put her in robot mode and leave her that way. Right now I have her in vehicle mode. I'm dreading putting it back, but that's another figure I've had issues with. Do you think FT will ever reissue Reflector? I don't think anytime soon. They're probably going to reissue more recent stuff first. Hey, Jay, double up Jay, what's up? So he says, I don't want to do that. Double up Jay is down. I think you're talking about buying multiple figures. So Jermaine also buys multiple copies of the same figure, and then I guess keeps one in each mode and doesn't really transform them. By the way, I will be going to TFCon Baltimore. So if any of you guys are going there, I can definitely meet you or say hi. I met Jermaine at TFCon. I didn't know who he was, and he probably didn't know who I was either, but I did meet him. And then later we figured out that we met. So I do meet people there. It's a good time. It's in October of this year. I'm hoping by October all this pandemic stuff is over. I can't wait for it to be over. Everyone has the vaccine, but I'm hoping October we can do that and go to that. So definitely join up if you can make it. Let's see. Wild Bill says, so I grabbed an Apache reissue, even though Big Spring is pretty good. I'll just tell you, Big Spring is good. but it's no comparison to Apache. Now the price difference is huge, but I will tell you, you'll be very happy with Apache once you get them. Release date for X-Transbots Virtus. It's got to be in the next month. So Toy Dojo already put it up for pre-order. Usually they will not put it up for pre-order unless it's within the next month or two. Very rare that they put it up and then it's not doesn't show up in the next several weeks. So I would guess by end of February, Virtus is going to be here. It's going to be shipped out. Maddie says, I wish it was a Lost Light Ultra Magnus by X-Transbots. No, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a G1 Ultra Magnus. I actually like the Takara Tomy Ultra Magnus. I mean, I'll get it, but I'm content with the Takara Tomy. We'll see if it's any better, but okay, Jersey here is another breakage. MP60 Night Stalker. The back leg fell on top of it, not being a good Autobot cassette. Night Stalker back leg fell off. Oh, okay, yeah. Actually, all of my tapes, my KFC tapes, were junk. They were all, the paint was coming off, the parts were falling off. I never had a good time with those. The engine thing on MP, Clinical says the engine thing on an MP Ramjet. Oh, you're talking about like on the wing. Yeah. I never bought those. I bought one. I didn't really like them, and I got rid of them. Wow, Bill, so I remember this time last year getting excited for TFCon Orlando. Yeah, unfortunately, they canceled TFCon Orlando. I was supposed to go. I was supposed to go to Disney World. I was bringing my daughter and my wife. We're going to go to Disney World. I was going to go to TFCon Orlando, and that was going to be awesome. I was really sad that I couldn't go to TFCon Orlando. There is a TFCon Toronto. I usually go every year, but unfortunately, it's in July. And that's just too early. I don't think the country is going to be under control, let alone going to Canada. I'm in the United States, so Toronto is, like an 8-hour drive for me to Canada. I don't think I want to take a chance and drive to Toronto in July when things aren't settled yet. But yeah, I was bummed about Orlando too. That MP Ramjet is a floppy mess. Yes, I agree. That's why I got rid of them. Eddie says, my pin in the leg of Transform Element Bumblebee came out of the plastic and the hood on the leg won't stay in. Can't glue because need to have it to turn. Yeah. I heard some nightmarish things about those bumblebees. There's so many little flipping panels. The more pins you have, the more likely you're going to have those kind of breakages. Panda. Okay, I'm going to go for another few more minutes. Starting to lose my voice here. Is all the price been increased? Because the FT reissue is higher than the OG releases. That's absolutely true. Yeah, I mean, all the prices have gone up somewhere between the range of $30 to $50. Every price has gone up. But I don't think X-Transbots is pricing their stuff right. I honestly think Virtus is overpriced. You do get a lot of accessories, but they think that they're on par. They said this on their page. I'm not making this up. X-Transbots said, we are as good as Fans Toys, basically. So they think their price should be as good as Fans Toys. Me, personally, I don't think they're there. I don't think they're at that level. I think they need to improve their quality a little bit more before they can charge the same price. But John Shimko says, I broke 2 fingers off the FT18 the other day. Not happy about it. Which one is FT18? I can't remember what FT18 is. Must be Springer? No. It's one of those ones in the middle. Yeah, the fingers, you have to be kind of careful as you bend them. I always use a spudger instead of trying to get my finger in there. The spudger makes it easier to not force it. Sphinx is missing a thumb. I have no clue where it went. Yeah, that thumb, that ball joint always pops off. I got rid of Sphinx, but... Oh, Steve, I live in Toronto, and I doubt TFCon will happen this year. Okay, that's interesting, because I don't know how Canada is doing with the pandemic. I know the U.S. is really bad right now. We're like the worst country in the whole world in terms of cases and deaths. We're at the top. So I don't know about Canada, but I would highly doubt that Canada would want United States citizens coming in. until all the vaccines are out there and get have been administered. Super Action Guy says my PS01 Sphinx was a floppy mess in the legs. Replaced him with T03. Such a great figure. I think this is a great figure. I really like it. But I will tell you, my legs got floppy. They're nowhere near as bad as MMC, but these knees got floppy on mine. I did take this apart and fix it. I talked about that earlier, but that's something that didn't hold up for me on this TE is the pin joints. They're all pin joints in here, and they all started getting loose. But I still love this figure. Excellent figure. Well, Bill, happened to me too. Yeah, so lots of people talk about the Sphinx. The legs just get loose over time. All right, I'm going to take a few more, and then I'm probably going to call it for tonight. Quick question. Sorry, not a breakage. Anyone know where this Lemon Tree company came from? DX9 reincarnated. Lemon Tree teased figures over a year ago. And the reason I say that is when Paik, T-Man, and myself were at TFCon, that was the first tease we got from Lemon Tree. So they've been around well before DX9 went out. I'm pretty sure they are another company, right? They're probably another company just under a different label. But they've been around. They teased that a long time ago. X-Transbots needs to either lower the prices or hugely improve QC. And I really agree with that. Actually, most of the figures I've had breakages with that weren't my fault are X-Transbots. Recently, I've had better luck, but this being the latest makes me worry about this trailer. I've got the trailer coming. We're going to do the review. We're going to do the fully combined mode on the Stunticons on Menasor. But I'm a little worried about that. Like, how good is their quality on that trailer? I'm hoping it stands up. I hope it can stand into combined mode. But we'll see. Well, MMC let you buy a replacement, but I'm not making it a priority. Oh, okay, that's good. MMC is pretty good customer service too, by the way. Mastermind Creations, if you email their customer service, they usually will take care of you. They're pretty good North American support. Anyway, I was born after 6 Sigma. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Okay, so Panda says, the accessories are useless to me. Don't get me wrong, I like XGB figs, but can you imagine an add-on set for the Menasor with 8 faces for Motormaster? I don't need them. Yeah, you don't need the add-on set. I'm not getting the add-on set. I'm just going to do the combiner. But you don't need the add-on set to make the combined mode. Another finger. Mike Winter says, a finger broke on my Giga Power Grassor. I just reached out to Giga Power support and playing the waiting game to see if replacement parts are possible. I haven't heard how good Giga Power is, honestly. I don't know if they're really good at service. I guess someone in the comments can answer that, but I'm not sure if they do the same thing as Fans Toys. Oh, okay. FT18 is Lupus. Thank you. Yeah, so Lupus is pretty much impossible to replace. So if you break him, you're in bad luck. Oh, okay, here you go. Clinical says 6 Sigma has cracks all over it. Seems to be made of a really soft plastic that just shears off with the slightest movement. Wow. I wouldn't buy that. All right, Steve says, I sold my XTB Stunticons. I considered selling them, but I really want to finish the review. I'm in so long. It's been a year, more than a year, and I just want to see it finished. I want to see the combined mode. I might sell it then, but I have to see it through. I have to see it to the end. All right, I'm going to take one more comment, and then we'll call it for today. Clinical, yeah, I watched your video, Clinical. That's really cool that you did that. I saw it. You didn't seem too happy with it, but Clinical said, I have the trailer too. I did a short video that got shared everywhere. Its hips ain't support its own weight. Yeah. I did watch your video. I was surprised to hear your English accent, but yeah, I'm hoping I get a good copy of it. I really need it to be worth its price. Brian says, I'm on the wire, but MP51, I have no RC. What do you think about it? I like it. MP51, I have no QC issues. Nothing is broken. The paint is really nice. I don't have any problems with my RC, which is surprising, right? You would think, okay, Takara Tomy, not good material, not good paint, but this time they did it. They did it right. The only part I'd be careful with is the back. So let me grab her. So here she is. These panels right in here that fold underneath, right there and there, those white panels are on really thin joints, so you just got to be careful with that. But other than that, I've transformed this 5 or 6 times, no problems. I recommend it. Now, the chest is a whole nother question. If you don't like the look of the chest, nothing's going to fix that. I mean, the chest is the chest, unfortunately. It is what it is. All right. I think that's going to be it for today. I have one more question. Let's see, do you know someone that chrome plastic? Chroming plastic is not a simple process. It's actually much harder than painting. The only guy that I know that would probably even think about doing that, metal plating, is maybe Sean Love, but he's not doing it anymore. It's a hard process to do, so you'd have to find someone that does chrome plating for other purposes and then use that, but it's not like paint. One thing you can do, and this is what Sean was doing, he found a paint that mimics chrome, and it's really close. It's not quite chrome, but it's shiny enough that it looks like chrome. I'd recommend that. Buy a paint like that and paint it, because chrome plating stuff is very hard to do. All right, I'm going to call it for today. So thanks for joining me. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these Saturday Night Live discussions. I think, wow, there's 66 people watching. Thanks for joining me. I will be doing this basically until the pandemic ends. Every Saturday night we'll do this. I do have Smokey. Fansway Smokey is coming, so we will look at that this week. I will do a comparison with this, X-Transbots. And we also have a few retail things coming along. Hopefully, from Toy Dojo, we got a couple of the Studio Series 86. So we'll take a look at that. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.